are not connecting to most of these, probably because I didn't actually set a category. So let's see. I still can't say crafting, can I? I cannot. Can I say misc or other? I should be able to say other. Others. That might be the name of a game, but oh well. And that, and stream category on Twitch should be the same. All right. That does not look like I am currently live. What if I use? That does not look like I am currently live. What if I... Am I live yet? Oh, I am connected to chat on TikTok, I think. But I still have a red dot next to my TikTok stream, so I think I may not actually be live. I am very confused. I cannot figure this out. All right. Maybe it will say if I am live or not on the website. Let's look at my profile. I can't find my profile. It's over here. Oh, okay, for 1 second it said I was live, and then it did not, so I think I probably am not live on TikTok. Or am I? Nope. Oh, there we go. Now it shows that I'm live. I hope I am actually live. Okay, people are joining, I see. All right, welcome. Oh, okay. I've been meaning to do this for ages. I'm going to fix this little frog that I found in the Goodwill bins. And yeah, I'm very excited about this. So I think the very first thing I need to do, I need to make his hand, I think. No. The order that I need to do, I need to make his sign first, or the back of his sign. Anyway, for that, I have these popsicle sticks. They are pretty thick popsicle sticks. And I'm going to cut them to an appropriate length, and I'm going to glue them together to make a sign. Like, yeah. I think, well, I probably could just do one popsicle stick, but I think it would look better if it was bigger. I think, yeah, like that. So I'm going to move this guy here. Trying to figure out this camera stuff. There we go. I've got these popsicle sticks, and I have an X-Acto knife, which I don't think I've ever used this X-Acto knife. It looks very fancy. I don't remember where I got it. And let's see. I think I'm just going to score the ends just as straight as I can. And try not to score the table. I really should have brought a cutting mat from upstairs, but I do not want to go back up the stairs again. I have gone up and down stairs too many times tonight. And let's see if I can just snap that. Nope, not scored enough. But if I score it a few more times, that should work. Yeah, just get in there and make it a deeper cut, and then I should be able to just snap it and get a clean break, I hope. Try to do it from one direction here, and then I'll just flip them and do the other. I guess if I needed to, I mean, I could use a saw or something for this, but That really seems like overkill for popsicle sticks. Not sure what else I might use, but yeah, I think the X-Acto knife will work. I just need to come at it from both sides. And if I can score it relatively deeply, then it should just snap. Although I'm not getting it in the same groove this time. Oh, the focus is not good here. Honestly, the camera isn't good. I've had this camera for a very long time and probably should get a new one. I think this camera is like 10 years old. It is probably the same camera I used back when I was streaming Minecraft like 10 years ago. So, yeah, it's not the greatest camera. And the lighting down here is very wonky. I'm not at all happy with this lighting, but I don't know much about lighting, so it's going to take me a while to figure that out. Let's see, can we snap it? Oh, I took off more than I needed to. Okay, well, that might be fine. Let's see. Well, that's going to be the back of the sign, but it will be visible because he's going to be holding it. Well, I can make that the... No, I'll just cut it again. Okay, I do need to cut like all the way through. In which case I really should have a cutting mat or something to protect the table. Do I have anything down here? I don't think I do. Oh well. I want to get a new table anyway, right? Right. So, cut a little further in, like so, and try to get... I will put the sticks on top of each other so I cut into the stick when I break through. And I'll go on this end, so I'm not cutting into stick that I want to use. There we go. Improvising. It's just as good. All right. There's that, and come at it from this side. I can do this. Cut. I really want to just snap it, but I know it's not going to work. Well, maybe. Hang on, maybe if I snap it this way. There we go. Ha! All right. That's one end cut. 3 more to go. This one is nearly done, so just keep going. Cut through there. Once I get it through far enough, I can snap it the opposite direction than I thought I was going to. Come on. Ah. So, having a lot of difficulty cutting a straight line with this one. Let's see if I can... there we go. That's what I need. And then how long should this sign be? He's going to be holding it up here. And I think it should be about like this. About like that. So, like, cut it around there. Did a little scoring with my fingernail. All right, I'm going to cut it right around there. And try to do this straight. And it is not straight, but oh well. And I cut the table a little bit. Oh well. Yeah, this table is something I picked up off Facebook Marketplace many years ago, and did not realize when I looked at it on Marketplace that it was a like DIY made table. So, but by that time I had fallen in love with it, so I got it anyway. And yeah, it's a little wobbly. It's a little like saggy in the middle, and the top is, it has some flaws. There's a bunch of like holes and scratches and whatever, but it's not too bad. But we will eventually be getting a new table. Just don't know when that's going to happen. Okay, then we score this to the same length. And cut it. All right. I guess I will need to be sanding the edges of this when I'm all done, because the edges are definitely not straight. But if the edges are a little crooked, that might add to the charm. It might make it look more like a, handmade sign. We'll see how it looks. All right, is that enough to snap it? Not quite. A little more. I probably could, but I don't want to risk getting a bad break. There we go. Nice. All right, so we've got the two parts of the sign, and these are kind of rough, and I might want, yeah, I think that's, oh, my hand is in the way. There we go. I think that's a good size. Maybe it should be a little bit shorter, like not as tall. Wow, the focus is screwy. Yeah, this is a very old camera. I need to replace this sucker. I might try switching to using my phone camera. I don't know. Come on. Sometimes if I wave a hand in front of it, it'll refocus, but I think the problem here is it still thinks it is, yeah, it thinks it's focusing on the table. I don't want it. There we go. That's much better. Just had to get the frog more in the center so it knew it was focusing on the frog. Okay, so I want the sign to maybe be a little less tall, which means I have to shave material off the sides, and I don't know how that's going to go, but let's find out. So again, using another popsicle stick to protect the table, and I'll just try, yeah, carving some slivers off the end like that. That should do it. Then it will be a more appropriate vertical size. There, we got a crooked, so now I do it from the other side. Yeah. A little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah. Again, this is something that I can sand later if it is a little crooked, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I just like to get it as close as possible. All right, it's not, yeah, it's not quite straight. I'll have to do a little bit more here. And I'm going to try to make this so you can't see the seam between the between the sign pieces, so it probably doesn't matter if one is bigger than the other. But maybe I should cut them both just to be sure. Because I also kind of want to use bare wood, so I'm planning on painting this white or something. And the paint is going to cover the seam. But I could just leave it as wood. Yeah, I'll cut off material on both of them. So this one's just about done. Just got a little messy area over here. And I just made it messy, so I have to do it over here to even it out. And then all I have left is a toothpick. This is how you end up fixating. All right, that should be good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. Let me just get the end there. All right, and then I will do the same thing to this side. Oh, that took a big chunk off right away, which actually is very convenient. Let's just hope it doesn't do the same thing again and ruin it. Yeah, I can shave the other side down. There we go. And oh, that is very, very crooked, very messy. Try to fix that a little bit. There's that little dip there. Do I want to fix that or do I want to leave it? I'm going to try to fix it. Try to fix it. Might be a mistake. Oh wow, I just made it worse. Yeah, definitely made it worse. But, okay, one more try. I can do this. I can do this. Just shave a tiny bit. Nope, not like that. Damn it. The sign. It is shrinking. But that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. I'll just even it out the best I can. Even it out, it'll be fine. If I really screw it up beyond repair, then I can just cut another one. There. That... Nope, got a little bump there. Squeeze. Yeah. No. I don't like that at all. I don't like that one bit. But if it's the bottom of the sign, it probably is okay. Like, yeah, that... I'm going to make one more try. I'm just going to be doing this all night. I'm going to be trying and failing to cut 2 even pieces of popsicle stick. And that is all I will do. All right. I think this one is good enough. Yes, this is good enough. This is good enough. All right, let's clear all these shavings out of here. I really need a trash container. What am I going to use for trash? Do I have anything? I mean, I have a lot of things here, but nothing that is an appropriate trash container. I will grab a box. I have a bunch of boxes right now. have a trash box, which I will sweep all these shavings into here. Not the remainder of the stick. I might still use that. All right. Then I never did go find my wood glue, so I'm going to probably use inappropriate glue. Let's do that. So let's see how this ceramic glue does. I am sure it will still work because it's basically just super glue. So we've got two ends that are still pretty straight, and those are the ones that will be glued together. I really wish I had better exposure and color on this camera. Okay, so we have this ceramic glue, which I have only used a tiny bit. It seems fine. I got a bunch of different super glues for 3D printing purposes because I had to do a repair on my 3D printer on the part that gets really, really hot. And most super glues fail, most glues in general, fail at those temperatures. So I had to get some specialty high temperature super glue. And I bought a bunch of different ones because I wasn't sure what was going to work. So now I have like all these super glues. And this is a little crooked. Is it too late to shift it? Oh no. I'm going to get super glue on my fingers. It's a little crooked. But the glue is very effective. Let me see if I can scrape away this bead of it before it becomes unfixable. All right. Yeah, it's a little uneven, like a little bit uneven there, but I can fix that with some sanding. So I'm going to let that dry. That will be his sign. Should I put the handle on it right now? I think I will. It'll make it easier to paint if it has a handle. I did not bring the skewers over here. I'll be right back. I have skewers for this. I will try not to trip over my trash box. Alright, easy peasy, bamboo skewer. I just need to do the same thing and cut a length of it. And I think I want it to be, so I want the bottom to be sticking out of his hand. And I want, actually I'm probably going to do it in two pieces because I think, yeah, I think I'm just going to repair his hand. I was originally thinking I would make a little fist here, but I was misremembering how much of his hand was missing. He's only missing a couple of fingers. So I should be able to fix that and then just glue a stick to the top and the bottom and it'll look like he's holding it. That should be good enough. So in that case, I want the stick to be about this long, right? Yeah, about that long. So I'm just going to snap it and see how it goes. Oh, that did not sound good. Actually, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Let me see if I can kind of even it out with the knife. I don't think the knife is going to help. And it's a little split here. I'm going to do it again, I think. Yeah. Score it. All right. I'm going to actually cut it. Or try to anyway. Can I even see where I just scored it? I don't think I can. Don't ever get old. Your eyesight fades. All right. So let's see if I can cut through this. I am dulling my poor knife blade. Well, that's not... Bamboo is tougher than popsicle sticks. Imagine that. This does not cut as easily at all. Well, let's see how it snaps. Hey, that went really well. All right, I got a good snap there and an okay snap here, and I think with some sanding, those are both going to be fine. All right, and then I'll take the sign, and which is the better side of the sign? I think the side with all the glue on it is actually the better side. Or is it? Yeah, I think the glue side is the better side. So I will glue the stick to the not good side. And once again, using the ceramic glue because I don't know where my wood glue is. And I will put ceramic glue, again, is basically just super glue. And stick this to that. And hold it there. Hopefully that will hold. Yeah, just got to leave that to dry and he'll have a little sign. All right, so while that dries, I will start working on his hand. And for that, I'm going to need my Sculpey, which I brought down. Oh, I hate working with Sculpey. But there's a necessary evil right now because it's the only clay I have. I found this at a thrift store, and it's like almost all of the bricks are still almost completely there and good, so I figured I would get it because sometimes Sculpey is useful even if I hate it. What color am I gonna... I think I'll just do this lime green. It doesn't match him. It kind of looks like it does on this camera, but it really doesn't. It is a completely different green. But it will help match colors with the paint without having to fully cover everything with paint, hopefully. All right, so this isn't going to take much because I'm just replacing 2 fingers. And were there any other bits of him that needed replacing? I don't think so. I think it was just those fingers. Yeah, nothing else is broken off. So yeah, this should be plenty to repair those fingers. Just have to knead it first, get it nice and soft and easy to work with. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to stick it on there. I'm going to try to mold it and then try to very gently remove it to bake it. And then I will glue it back on when it is baked. So hopefully that will work. We will see. All right, it is nice and soft now. So let's see what we can do. Just kind of mush that on there. I wish I had better lighting and a better camera. All right, so I'm just going to kind of mush it on to start with. And then going to kind of shave stuff away. So where are my tools? Here are my tools. I have such a mess here. Let's see. What am I going to use? I'm going to use... I'm not actually a very good sculptor. I have never had what I would consider satisfactory results with sculpting, but we'll see how this goes. Here we go. I got these tools. Like, these are silicone-tipped tools specifically for working with clay. So I'll see how these work. So we're just gonna kind of push things together and there, and I'm gonna need to do some scraping away probably, but we'll see how this goes. How can I get proper lighting on this? I wonder if I move this light over here a little bit, if that might help. Let me try. If I move the light down, maybe. Oh, actually, that kind of looks a little better, I think. Let's see how that works. All right. So we're just trying to follow the contours of his existing hand and blending the clay over so that it fits, and then I can, hopefully, I'll be able to pop it off and bake it and glue it back. So, yeah, this is, maybe if I move it closer. I'll get this stuff figured out someday. I'm still very, very new to this live streaming stuff, so I've still got a lot to figure out, but I am working on it. So, yeah, we got little finger lines, and then kind of smooth that down and away. That. Get rid of some of that. There we go. And then, oh, that's his broken bit. We want it to match the broken bit. All right, so I wonder if I moved the camera up, if that would help a little bit. Here. What can I set it on? If you could see this table, it is such a mess. I do want a drink here. Is there anything I can set this camera on easily? Because I think if the camera was pointing down, you would be able to see the sculpting better. Let's see, I have this candle jar. Maybe this will work. And lift the camera up. And kind of, one sec here. Oh, is that as far down as it goes? What? Okay. Maybe that'll help. We'll see. We'll see if that helps. Okay, so what I want to do is this. I'm gonna kind of smooth this and push it into the right shape. And he's got a little pinky over here. Yeah, I don't think this is pointing down from high enough to really work. Let's try to get this over here a little bit more. There we go. And let's see, how do I do this? I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see, trying to figure out if there's anywhere I can hold this or put this that it's actually easy to see. What if all right, we're just gonna stack random objects here. I got a can of seasoned salt. Let's see if that works. And point it down. There. That might maybe work better. Let's find out. Hey, there we go. That's better. That is much more visible. Still not perfect, but it'll have to do. I think I want one of my metal tools to scrape more material away. Where'd they go? Here we go. And then, yeah, I'm going to try to push this in here and shape some little froggy fingers. Try to get a round shape. Again, I am not a good sculptor. I don't have any idea what I'm doing. But I'm trying anyway, and that's what matters, right? Sure. Alright. I'm gonna cut away some more stuff here. And get rid of that. There we go. Little clay bits everywhere. That's going to be fun to clean up. And cut that away. There we go. Yeah, the metal is much better for this early stuff. Cutting away lots of material. And let's cut another. So his other finger line is going to be like here. And then we want it to kind of have it cut in like that. And then cut in like that. Slowly building the shape of the hand. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it with the metal tools and get sharp lines, and then I'll smooth them with the silicone tools. That's what I'll do. And just kind of cut in more here and more here. Oop. I uncovered a rough edge. I want to cover that back up. Trying to make it not obvious that he had a broken hand. So I'll cover that. And then more sharp cutting away. Let's see, cut that. Yeah, kind of like that. And then cut into there. Lots of clay can be cut away. Just making a big old clay mess. And there we go. Scrape that. Scrape that. Honestly, I maybe should have used air dry clay for this because I'm a little worried I won't be able to get this off and then without deforming it, but I didn't have air dry clay and I didn't feel like going to the store. So we're trying the Sculpey. Also, the Sculpey has a benefit of, you know, if I keep screwing it up and having to redo it, it's not going to dry out on me. Sculpey is probably better for my purposes. But it does mean that I'm going to have to somehow remove this bit that I'm making without destroying it so that I can put in the oven. I wonder if I stuck this in the freezer, if the Sculpey would be easier to remove without damaging it. Let me know in the comments if you know, if you are a Sculpey expert, because I definitely am not. Gotta hold this in the right spot. And there. We're just trying to match the shape of his existing fingers as much as possible. And cutting away all the unnecessary material. so that the glue won't have to work too hard to hold the baked clay on. And oh, nope, I don't want to cut in there because that's where his broken finger is. Okay. There is still material to be cut away here. And here a little bit. And definitely here, which you can't really see. There we go. Ah, don't poke the wrong bits. Don't poke the wrong bits. Oh, this is hard to do. Get off of there. I'm trying to get nice little rounded fingertips here. I'm going to need to do a lot of smoothing with the silicone tools. And carve that into there a little bit. Keep the separation going. And let's see. Cut into there. All right. And just really trying to make it look like, oh, the original hand. And I keep doing that. I keep exposing that raw edge there. Gotta press that back into place. All right. Now, if I cut a little more away here, and a little more away here, then I think I can probably start with the silicone tools to smooth it. I think that might still be a little too much material, but we'll find out. Yeah, let's try that, and then start trying to smooth with the silicone tools. See if I can get sort of natural looking shapes without making it look like they're just blobbed on there. Which probably is going to require removing more material because I think they just are too bulky. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. Just gotta kind of work at it for a little while. And actually, I've got some stuff I can cut away on the underside there. Get rid of that, not necessary. And get rid of that, also not necessary. And yeah, I think I should carve a little bit more of this away. I got to make sure his fingers are not too big and blobby, because they are quite big and blobby right now. Let's, just gonna dig that out, and then I can reshape around it. All right. Then let's try the silicone again. See what I can get done. This is very difficult. I've always kind of wanted to do sculpting sort of stuff and never spent the time to learn how to do it well. So it's always been kind of like in the back of my head is like, yeah, I should do this someday. ever have. I've started doing a little bit of like virtual sculpting with 3D printing stuff. Like I've started learning how to use Blender and things like that. I've got a project that I really should finish, which is making a Ninth House skull from the Locked Tomb series that is 3D printable. I've got the whole thing like basically working. It's just I need to make some more changes to it to make it print better, because it's like it's not optimized for 3D printing. It's just a skull with a 9 on it and aviator sunglasses. Got too much material over here. But yeah, I'd like to finish optimizing that for 3D printing and then release that on, you know, some of the sites for that. Because I know there are a lot more nerds like me who are desperate for the next Locked Tomb book and will do anything they can to fill the void while they wait. And 3D printing a skull, well, that'll help for a little while. Alright, smooth that. These fingers are noticeably bigger than his other ones, so I do need to carve more away. But we're getting there. We're getting there. So I'm going to do a little more metal scraping away and try not to hit the rough edge again. And I hit the rough edge again. I'm bad at this. Okay. Gonna get that on there and kind of push this over. And that'll give him a little finger ridge. And then I can cut away a bunch on the other side. Like I can cut away almost everything over here. Oh, but that is, nope, not quite. Well, it is sort of hitting the raw edge, but I can smooth that out. All right. We are getting there. We are getting there. Slowly but surely. Then that. And push that there. All right. Yeah, that's looking a little bit more correct as far as bulk goes. I want to scrape a little bit more away here. And smooth that a little bit, kind of smooth it this direction. I can probably do a little more like gap filling after I glue this on, like after it's finished and glued. Like if I do have a raw edge kind of sticking out over here, I can probably still fix that after the fact. Press, press, press. There we go. And then let's try to cut from the underside a little. And let's get this cleaner. There we go. And get this. Yeah, it's gonna definitely take me a little while to figure out how to set up cameras and lighting for this crafting stuff. I have a few cheap little ring lights that I use. I have a sun lamp for, you know, seasonal depression that I use for lighting for most of my videos. When I'm sitting at my desk, I'm using a sun lamp for that. And other than that, I've got like a couple of cheap ring lights. And that's pretty much all I have for lighting. I am not a professional setup here, so I'm still learning. I'm gonna have to figure out what kind of lighting I should get for future stuff. I'm trying to think about, like, do I want to set up a permanent filming space or not? I don't know. I do like recording some videos down here in the dining room. I really like my dining room, and I like a lot of the background decorations and stuff. But I also don't want to have like a permanent, camera and green screen and crap sitting in my dining room. I think that would not look great, not feel great. So might try to figure out some kind of like movable, temporary-ish studio setup for down here, and do most of my recording in my office. I've been trying to clean my office for months, and it feels like I clean and I clean and I clean, and it just like continues to get messy. And it does, because I haven't fully figured out my storage and organizing situation in there yet. But shush you. But once I do get that figured out, I do have a little space that I can probably use for a like permanent recording studio-ish area. And that will be much more convenient. Right now it's kind of a pain getting all the cameras and lights and whatever set up to record stuff. Okay. When I was last posting regularly on TikTok, which was like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago at this point, geez, I was starting to get some of that equipment. Like, I got a green screen. I did get an assortment of ring lights that, are not great, but they're something. And one of the things I got was a nice camera, because I was also wanting to do long form content on YouTube, and I figured like a real camera would be a good thing to get. So I got, what is considered a really good entry-level camera for content creators. And at this point, my phone is better for quality for recording. It's very frustrating. Like, my husband upgraded his phone, and I got his old phone, and I was like, wow, this camera is amazing. I won't say it's better than my fancy camera, but it's like just as good. So it feels kind of silly to have bought that, separate content creator camera that's like difficult to connect to things and difficult to set up and get the files off of, when everything is so easy on the phone. But I also don't always want my phone occupied when I'm recording these things, because sometimes I want to be like listening to music. Sometimes I want to be able to text people. Oh. I know some people get like a whole second phone for content creation, and that feels so wasteful. I don't want to do it, but I don't know, it might be the logical thing to do. I don't know. I have been editing my videos on the computer as much as I can lately to try to get used to doing it and see how it works. But it's so much harder and so much more complicated than doing it on the phone because use I use a program called InTouch, and it's a really good video editing suite. I paid for a lifetime subscription for it a few years ago, and they've continued to update and continued to, you know. Oh, hello, Mama Going Crazy. Yeah, I hope I have an update soon. I assume you're talking about the Richard Strong thing. That's usually what people are talking about. Uh, yeah, I did talk to a reporter. We found someone who we think is him. We're still waiting to confirm it. I did send an email to check in again with the reporter today. Have not heard back yet. So we'll see. It is a little difficult because I get the feeling that he's like a pretty old man and might not be as interested in all of this as I am or the whole internet seems to be. But I really hope that it is him and that I can talk to him because that would be awesome. And I hope even if he doesn't like want to talk to me, just I'm glad that he knows now that I'm out there and appreciate what he did, and um, and that he had an impact. Like that's really what I wanted. I wanted him to know that, and I think just the fact that the reporter was trying to contact him probably would tell him uh, what I wanted him to know. But yeah, thanks, Mama Going Crazy. I appreciate that. It would kind of tie the whole thing up in a neat bow if I could like talk to him and record a little video and say, hey, look, here he is. Um, but things don't always work out that way, and I'm trying to be okay with that. I know I know that reporter is probably going to be pretty disappointed if he doesn't wanna if he doesn't want to meet. I think she was really looking forward to reporting on it. Um, but I would also totally understand if he didn't want, some cameras in his face and all that stuff. But for the sake of the reporter and for all of my TikTok followers, I hope that he does want to meet and that he'd be willing to let us film it because that would be awesome. All right. I think I've done enough carving away, and I really do just need to, well, I don't know. Those little bulbs on the end of the fingers still look too big. But let's see how they look when I smooth them out. Smooth, smooth, smooth. And again, it's hard to see what I'm doing because lighting is terrible. Yeah, even after I do this and glue everything back on, I should still be able to fix tiny imperfections. So I don't have to get it perfect. Also, like, the original figurine isn't perfect. It's, not made with a ton of care. It's got this sort of rustic quality to it. All right, and shape that. Trying to get things smooth here. Not sure. Shaping the round bits on the ends of the fingers is going to be difficult. Trying to get that actually rounded. I think I'm more or less getting it. Yeah, this is looking pretty decent. Just hope that removing it to bake it doesn't ruin it. I mean, it might be okay if I just bake this whole frog, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, it's metal and ceramic. It's not, there's no plastic. There's no cloth. Even the butterfly, I'm pretty sure, is ceramic. So yeah, I probably could just bake the whole frog. Maybe I will. It would really suck if I ruined this thing after doing all this work to fix his hand, but also trying to remove these fingers and put them back on without ruining them might be an exercise in frustration. So yeah, I think I should probably just bake the whole frog. And with that, I should probably go get that oven preheating because this is pretty close to done. And I will want to bake it so I can paint it. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. Let's see. I don't remember what temperature Sculpey has to bake at. So 275. Okay, I need to go preheat the oven. Be right back. It's just in the next one. Okay, oven is preheating, and it won't take too long because I realized as I got over there that this is small enough to go in the toaster oven, so I don't actually need to preheat the big oven. All right. These finger bulbs are not super round, but I think they're probably good enough. I mean, like I said, the whole frog has kind of a rough, rustic sort of look to it, so if his two little fingers here are not perfect, it's probably not a big deal. But I'd like to get it looking as close as possible. Try to smooth that. And there we go. Smooth that. I will say these silicone sculpting tools are pretty useful. They are doing exactly what, exactly what I got them to do, and something I don't want them to do because I am clumsy. All right, got that. And I'm also going to be painting this hand, so the paint can cover some imperfections too. So I don't have to be too perfect about it. So I'll keep trying to get it right until the oven beeps at me to tell me it's preheated, which could be any minute. Actually, I should probably go a little bit longer because, yeah, I want to, so if I'm baking the whole frog, then I want to clean up some of this other clay that I've left on the rest of the hand. Got some rough bits between the fingers, trying to smooth out. There we go. And try to smooth that. Get everything nice and smooth. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Although, bold of me to assume I'll be able to hear the oven beep if it finishes preheating. Appliances beeping are usually right in the range of tones that I have lost. And I don't like wearing my hearing aids. Hearing aids are kind of a nightmare for someone who is like even a little bit autistic. It's you suddenly hear all of these little sounds that you couldn't hear before, and you don't want to hear them. You can hear the fan running, you can hear the fridge grinding, you can hear little clicks and little whooshes, and everything is just so loud all the time. I hate it. So yeah, I got these hearing aids a few years ago, and I eventually stopped wearing them because I did not want to hear all that stuff. It was overstimulating. I would, take my hearing aids out at the end of the night and feel like this sense of relief, like the constant input finally stopped. And my hearing isn't too horrible. I can still, more or less hear people talking. I just have trouble understanding sometimes. Low voices, especially. Like guys with really deep voices are harder for me to understand because I've lost all the upper ranges that help distinguish the sounds. So when a guy with a low voice is talking and he's a little too quiet, it just sounds like to me. So yeah, I've heard though that hearing aids these days have some like noise canceling functions and like cut out background sounds a bit if you want them to. So I might look into getting new hearing aids if that is true, because it would be nice to be able to hear better. I just don't want to have to hear all that other stuff. It was kind of funny when I went to the audiologist and tried on hearing aids for the first time. He, set them to my range of hearing, and I put them in, and I was like listening, and I was like, I think there's something wrong with them. I think there's like, because I'm hearing this, I don't know, static noise. I think there might be like a bad connection or something. And it turned out it was the doctor's laptop fan. I was hearing the of the laptop fan, and I hadn't heard a laptop fan in years. So I didn't know what it was and didn't know where it was coming from. And I thought it was the hearing aids malfunctioning. And yeah, without the hearing aids in, I could not hear one bit. It was perfectly silent to me. Okay, I think this is smooth enough. I think this is good. I don't know if the oven beeped or not. I'm guessing it probably did, and I probably didn't hear it. So I will probably go put this in the oven and go back to working on his sign. Oh, yeah, that looks pretty good, right? Good enough. Yeah. It'll look pretty decent when it's painted. The edges are still a little rough. I'm going to see if I can smooth them just a tiny bit more. Like the surfaces are still kind of bumpy here. Try to smooth that out a little bit. I can always do some more finishing after it's baked, but it'll be easier the more I do beforehand. And try not to just make it worse. Made a little ridge there I didn't want to. All right, smooth, smooth, smooth. Come on, smooth out more. And yeah, you can't really, oh, I'm holding it in the wrong spot. Can't really see the surface imperfections on the camera, but they definitely are there. But again, once it is painted, that'll hide a lot of it, and I shouldn't really worry about it too much. Okay. I'm going to call this good enough, right? I think this is good enough. Probably. Maybe. I'm bad at declaring things good enough. All right. Yeah, it's not a perfect match, but I'm sure it's at the point where once it is painted, nobody who doesn't know that it was broken will be able to tell. All right, so I need to, here, get another look at the hand there. Gotta hang on. I got a little lumpy bit there. Let me get rid of that. I think I once again exposed the ridge where the hand broke. Smooth, smooth, smooth. There we go. All right, so we have a repaired hand. Yay. I do wish this camera was better. Wonder if, hang on, this camera might show better. Yeah, you can see that the color doesn't match on this camera too. It's definitely not the same color, but it'll work because I'm painting it. All right, so how long do we bake Sculpey for? 15 minutes per 1/4 inch of thickness. So yeah, probably just 15 inches, 15 minutes, not inches. Yeah, that's might even be a little less than a 1/4 inch, but yeah, I think 15 minutes should be good. I will be right back. There we go. And Set a timer for 14 minutes. There we go. When that goes off, I take that out. And let's hope that that doesn't ruin the whole thing. I don't think it will because, I mean, it's not that hot an oven and the whole thing is made of like ceramic and metal. So it is probably not going to ruin it. Let's clean up all these sculpey bits and then I can work on the sign. All right. Or should I work on his leg? I'll work on his leg because that'll give the glue on the sign even longer to set. And then the leg will have time for the glue to set. All right, so leg. The leg fell off and it had a little ringy thing in there. And so I need to put a new ringy thing in there. And I don't know what it looks like on the frog. I guess I'll put in something that can be bent. So I need to get my magical box of jewelry making supplies. And maybe put away my sculpting stuff because I don't want to make this mess much worse. There we go. Get that on there. Oh, maybe put the lid on the glue. That would be good. Put the lid on the super glue. Okay. Yeah, and wrap that up. I'm probably going to want to use a little more Sculpey on the leg. Maybe. It's not really necessary. But it might help. So, what do I have in my jewelry making stuff? Here, I can probably even put this on camera. Big mess. All right. So I need something that will, like a wire that will go into that hole and will bend over for a little ring to attach the leg. I could use this wire. This wire is not very thick, but it would work. I also have an assortment of little rings that could go in there. Is anything here appropriate? There's these little rings down here in the corner. These might work. Let me see what else I have. Ooh, I have spilled beads over in the corner. Don't want to deal with that right now. And, where are my good pliers? Got chainmail rings. We got string. We got earring post thingamajobbers. That might be something I could stick in the leg to attach to a ring, maybe. That's a possibility. I'm hoping to find something perfect, but it looks like I am just going to have to do something makeshift. This is very pretty wire. I should do something with this wire. It's a very lovely... Oh, you can't really see the color with this bad camera. You can see it a little bit better here. This is a lovely color. Don't know what I'd do with this wire, but I want to do something with it. It is not appropriate for the frog, though. It would very much clash with the frog. So, try to get that in there. And I think that's... Oh, wait, there's some more stuff down here. There's some chain. Some more chain. Broken chains. There's a pin with a peeled painted marble. I don't know why that's in here. Oh, back when I was making things out of bicycle chains. You can make some interesting stuff. This was a little keychain. Okay, yeah, I don't seem to have any wire that is perfect for this. So, I think what I'll do I don't think I want to just glue a ring on, because if I just glue a ring onto the surface, it feels like the glue will be doing too much work. Oh, I know what I can do. Here we go. I've got these things. Yeah. Okay, so I've got these things. These are little kind of like oblong rings. And I can bend one half of it into a circle for hanging the leg, and I can bend the other half straight so it can go into that hole and get glued in place. And then I can put a little Sculpey over the top to really cement it. And I need to replace this container because it is a mess. There we go. I have not been into jewelry making for years and years, so my jewelry making supplies are very old and very chaotic and probably could stand to be sorted. But not right now. Alright. And I have these pliers, which are not ideal for this, but I don't feel like going upstairs and getting a different pair of pliers, so hopefully I'll be able to make it work. Yeah. Almost knocked a thing here. Alright, so this can go over there. And then we have leg. And that is not part of it. And we have ring. Alright. So try to bend this part. Oh, I really need a second pliers. Ugh. Okay, these rings are too tough. I think I will have to go get a second pliers. I don't think I can do this with just one. Yeah. All right. I don't have anything down here, do I? I do not. But I do have some in my office upstairs. So, be right back. And I'm back. All right. These are not the ideal pliers, but I don't know where the good ones are. So, what I want to do... Oh, why am I starting to get tired already? I had a nap today. Okay, so trying to do this where it's visible. So yeah, just trying to bend this. Okay, I need to bend it against the flat of the other pliers. This is very difficult to try to line up. Somebody's breaking things. All right, so we're just going to bend that and then try to get this rounded. Yeah, try to get the end of it curled over. That's a start. And get that curled over a little more. And then round it more, like so. There. That should do it, I think. That looks like it. Yeah, it's close enough. Good enough for government work, as they say. So All right, that is too long, so I need to cut it. I should have brought my cutters down here. Actually, if I fold this in half, will it fit? It will not fit. All right, I do need to cut it, but I can just bend to cut it. So, since I don't have cutters here, I can just do this. Ta-da! All right. Get that in there. Yeah, that's much better. All right. So, we want to get some glue in there. Where's my glue? There it is. Try to drip some of it into this hole. And hopefully not on my skin, because it is super glue. And try to kind of jam it in there a little bit. Yeah. Hopefully that'll work. There we go. Bop. And yeah, I might have trouble bending that because the free end is in the glue too. But we'll see. I may have trouble, I may not. All right, so let that dry. I probably don't need to bother with Sculpey on that. This glue, like this isn't that heavy. I think the glue can probably handle it. I'll put another drop up here to kind of reinforce. But yeah, I think the glue can probably handle that on its own. So I will leave that here to dry. I will be smart and put something under it so I don't glue it to the table. All right, next I need to paint the sign. Timer has 1 minute 47 left. I should go check on the Sculpey because 15 minutes might actually be too long. So let's find out. Good news, frog doesn't look burned. Well, we have good news and bad news. But the bad news isn't that bad. I was talking earlier about glues failing at high temperatures. Well, the glue that held his other leg on failed while it was in the oven. But that's okay because I have more glue and I can glue it right back on. So this is very hot. I am not touching it yet. But very soon I will, I will glue that little post back in. Yes, I know. I already took care of it. Thank you. All right, so we have this, I'll put a leggy there. All right, we're fixing this frog. And now the sign. We have sign. And let's see. I was thinking about sanding it. I don't think I'm going to though, because just with the rustic look that most of it has, I think the rough edges are going to look nice. So Diggy, welcome. And yes, he is so cute. Thank you. I also owe you a response, and I will get to that. I have had a weird day today, so I haven't been on top of things. Okay. Paint. What color should his sign be? I mean, I could just make it white. White is, like, pretty basic. But I could make it, let's see, something that would, maybe I could make it yellow to go with the butterfly. Yeah, I think maybe yellow to go with the butterfly. That seems appropriate. Either that or like I could make the sign black with white writing. No, I think yellow. I think yellow is a good way to go. Let's see if my paint is still any good. It is still liquid, so that's a good sign. It kind of sounds too liquid. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I got paintbrushes in here. There we go. I have some other paints I can try if this one doesn't work. Yeah, I should be good. All right. What do we got? Do we have paint or do we have useless goo? I think we have paint. Very nice. All right. So, sign. Well, it is not great coverage, but I can do a couple of coats. That is fine. Yeah, I think this is a good color for it. This will work. And I'll get the edges. You understand chaos? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've had on and off like nausea for the last couple of days, and so I've been having nausea for a while because of a medication change. And I thought that this was just it, but I think at this point that I think I actually got some kind of like minor stomach bug, and that is why I've been nauseous the last couple days. So, yeah, I've been like laying down a lot because I feel bleh, and had a couple of unplanned naps the last couple days, which I'm not super happy about. And meanwhile, my husband is also like infirm. He hurt his back, so I've been having to cover all of the, getting the kid to and from school and making dinner most nights and all that stuff. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but it hasn't been too bad. I've been getting by. I've been doing all right. Like apart from the nausea, and that hasn't been too horrible. Oh, I just noticed that the focus is not working. There we go. Sorry, I have been painting too close to the camera this whole time. And now I'm not even on camera. What am I doing? I need better equipment. All right, so yeah, I think that looks good. Oh, right, I wanted to get the bottom of the sign, get the bottom edge. All right, and then you can see the glue there. I'm not sure if that's gonna be okay. Cover it with more paint. I think covering it with more paint should work. I deserved my naps. I don't know, maybe. Don't know if I deserved them, but I definitely needed them. Yeah, it's been super weird having my husband being the one who's like, in bed and unable to do stuff because usually it's me. And he, like the entire time I've known him, has been like irritatingly healthy and robust. Like he is always fine. If my daughter brings home a cold from school, she'll have it for like the normal amount of time, like 3 to 5 days. I'll have it for like 2 weeks, and my husband will have it for a day. And that's just like, that's how it always goes around here. And so when he hurt his back and was like actually in bed all day for like 4 days straight, um, it was very unusual. It was a little shocking and worrying. I don't like it. Okay, you can still see the glare of the paint under there, or not the paint, the glue under there. But it's probably not a big deal. And the yellow looks good with the butterfly. I like it. I like it. Should I give it? I should probably give it one more coat just to be sure. Cold's just get in your lungs and stay there. I mean, kind of like, well, and I also get a sinus infection after a cold. But yeah, I'll actually be like actively sick and like congested mostly. I get like a lot of head congestion. Um, and I'll just stay that way for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then, yeah, and then a lot of the time I'll get a sinus infection after that and have to get antibiotics. It is a huge pain. That hasn't been the case quite so much for, I, now that I think about it, it hasn't really been the case since COVID. I wonder if, like, a year of not getting sick, uh, like, reset my immune system somehow. 'Cause, yeah, I remember that year was amazing. I know I didn't get a single cold. Oh. Okay. The only thing that didn't suck about the pandemic for me, I was insanely healthy. I did break my foot, uh, but as far as like immune system stuff, I was doing great. All right, that should be enough coats. Hopefully, hopefully. Well, and once I put the lettering on here, the glue won't be visible anymore. There we go. So we have his sign. All right, and that needs to dry, so I'll put that there. And hello, refocus. Refocus. Come on, camera. This camera is very frustrating sometimes. I wonder if the pot holder is interfering with it. Working in daycare really affected my immune system. Oh yeah, I bet. I bet. Yeah, you're probably bringing home all kinds of stuff and getting real tough. Little kids are germ factories. All right, how's the temperature on this? Temperature is fine. All right, and that is still pretty hot. So, whoop, let's see what I can do. All right. Yeah, gluing that back on should be, oh my God. This whole time, I did not need to put a new wire in there. The old wire was hanging there. I'm an idiot. I'm a big dum-dum. Okay, so, well, let's see what happens if I try to bend this open again. If it bends open or if it just pops out. Because if it just pops out, then I can just glue the old one back in. Actually, screw it. I'm just going to force it out and glue the old one back in because that is going to be easier. There we go. Did not pay enough attention. All right, so I don't think he really has a right and a left here. But the chip on this one is toward that side, so I'm going to put that on the inside, I think. So, glue, more glue. And get this guy in there. Actually, yeah, maybe I'll get it in this one because this is actually the one it came from. And trying not to touch the frog too firmly because it is still hot. It's just not like scalding hot. There we go. Wow, well, this was a much easier project than I thought it was because I did not realize that his old hook was already lying there. All right, extra drop of glue. Get that in place, and that was a little too much glue, so try to wipe some of that away. Oh, and it's dripping down. Don't want to glue things together. I'm making a mess. All right. There, and get that there, and I have another popsicle stick scrap that I can put there so it doesn't glue itself to itself. There we go. And then we have the leg that just came off. Right, there was a drop of glue on the end of that. Heh. All right, try to get some glue in this hole again. I am getting real brave here working with super glue. I don't know why I think I can handle this. All right, let's see, get it in there. All right. These are threaded, although the holes are not, like the holes are a little bit big, so the threads don't make that much of a difference. And come on, but they do kind of help get things in place. And I want to make sure that the leg hangs the right direction, so it turns that way. There we go. And now another drop of glue up top, and hopefully that will do the trick. We can hope. I have a spot of super glue on my finger now, and all right. So, we've got the sign base coat painted. We've got the legs glue drying. And this is cool enough to handle for the most part. So I will, there we go. Froggy. The Sculpey is, the Sculpey is firm and it looks fine. So yeah, I can paint this. Beautiful. I don't know where my paint palettes are. I'm gonna need to mix some custom colors here. Well, I got all these popsicle sticks. Popsicle stick is now a paint palette. All right, so this is like a kind of ivory with a little tiny bit of tan. I should get some water to clean my brushes. Be right back. All right, so I'm going to, I think, start with a white and add, I think I have a brown. Let's find out. Wait, do I have a white? That would be bad if I didn't have a white. That's varnish. Oh, I have this white at least. That's not great, but it's something. Oh my God, I think I don't have white. I went through and threw away a lot of dried up paints recently. And I guess all my white was dried up. But I do have brown, and I do have this little white here that I can probably mix with the other stuff. I don't actually know what kind of paint it is, but I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, there we go. Good enough. This is good enough crafting. All right, so, wait. I have white. I took it out of the container earlier. All right. It is also chaos crafting. Let me see if my microphone is complaining at me yet. Oh, is the microphone... Wait, nope, it is working. Sorry, didn't mean to... All right, cool. Sorry about that. Just needed to check because I am not sure what the battery life is on this microphone yet. It is a new thing to me. But it still seems to be fine. All right, so... do I want... Let's see, I think I'm going to mix the white and the green at the same time. That way I can kind of fiddle with them to get everything right. So, oh, this is a kind of dried up paint. Yep, that is dried up. Wait, I have a trash thing over here. Whoop, trash thing. Start with this green. So, all right, we'll do a drop of white over here, drop of green, oh, here, let me get this actually on camera. Boop. Not that you can really see the colors because everything's all washed out. I will get a better camera soon. Drop of green. And let's see. There should be some brown in that white, but just a tiny bit. So I'm going to do a tiny dot of brown over here that I can mix in little by little. Come on, tiny dot. And a little more dot. There. That should be more than enough brown. And possibly some yellow. Probably some yellow, yeah. And this yellow is very watery, so be very careful here. Just a little drop. Bloop. All right. And I think probably, looking at these greens, I can probably reach that green with what I got. So let's mix. All right. So I will start with the white. I'll get a tiny bit of brown in there. looks like we need a little more brown. Am I misremembering how hard it is to mix off-whites? Maybe. Yeah, I might need more brown. All right, a little bit more brown. Ooh. Here. A little brown, mix that in. And there we go, that's a little more like it. And then I think a tiny bit of that yellow goes in. I might have gotten too much brown in there. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, that does look pretty close. Let's see. You know what? I think it's close enough. Yep, that is close enough. So I've got that color. Now, try to leave as much of that on the stick as I can. Do I want to just paint? Yeah, I'm going to start by just painting a lot of it this color, and then I can kind of blend as I go. Oh, his other hand is, oh, I didn't realize I was going to have to, okay. So his other hand is all like white at the tips. So I will do all of this with this white. And then I will add some green to it. Cover up all the Sculpey, which I guess there was no point in using green Sculpey, but oh well. And oh, I'm probably holding that off screen for some people. There we go. And paint that. Paint that. Excellent. And now we will. I think my white needs a little more color. Teeny tiny bit more brown and a little more yellow. A little bit more yellow. Yeah, I think that's a little better. Do a little bit more here. Oh, that's much better. You can't see with this terrible camera, but the color match is much better. There's that, and then I want to clean the brush and mix up the green. Actually, I should use a different brush. What am I doing? What am I doing? Chaos, that's what I'm doing. This brush? Yeah, this brush. All right, so the green needs to be a little yellower. So I'm going to, and I don't need much green, so I'm going to mix up a little bit over here and add some yellow. And more yellow. Getting there. More yellow. More yellow. Maybe I'll just mix it over here. There, that's getting closer. Yeah, I'll add another drop of yellow to this. More yellow. All right, that's looking closer. I think it is a little too vivid. We might need a hint of brown. It's pretty close though. I will put in a hint of brown because it is just a little bit too vivid. Try not to make it too muddy. Yeah, that's a pretty good match. Good enough. All right, then, can I hold this yet? Yes, I can. All right, and it looks like this other hand has green on the very edges, so I will green the edges. And there. That might be a little too dark because it's getting a little bit lighter here. I'm going to need to blend it a bit, but I will put the first like smear of color. Oh no, that's wrong. Okay, I just blobbed down a bunch of dark green where his belly is actually white. And then, yeah, we'll get the edges here. And let's see, the green goes up the fingers a little bit. Up the fingers a little bit. And then this is very sloppy, but we're going to blend it. All right, so add a little water and kind of blend, blend, blend. There's that. Try to get gentle color transitions here to match what the other hand is doing. And yeah, it's still pretty sloppy, but it's a start. All right, more blending, blend that paint. And then get up there, try to blend that a little bit. I need a little more water up there. I've got a little bit too much green. Yeah, get in there. There we go. Oh, now I'm making a mess. How much is on that brush? Smearing the green around a little bit. I should have brought some Q-tips down here or something. Maybe I can get that with my finger. Yeah, good enough. All right, now the white paint is already drying up, but let's see if I can pick up some of it. It's a problem with mixing these tiny, tiny quantities. They dry up very quickly. But I want to blend some of the white up toward the green as well. Some white on there and there. All right, and maybe like a dry brush to blend them now. Or this brush? Nope, not that brush. Let's see what this brush does. Gonna blend, 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 blend. Blend, blend, blend. Blend, blend, blend. Yeah, That's not looking too bad. This hand is a little sloppy though. Yeah, it's I could have smoothed the clay more, definitely. It's doesn't show very much on the camera, but in person you can see there's like a lot of little jaggedy bits. But it's good enough. Good enough. And more blending. And maybe blend a little green down. Actually, I'll mix a little of these two together and then blend that down. There we go. And blend that a little bit. There we go. How are we looking here? I want that to be a little bit greener. So matching paint colors is always very difficult. But I kind of enjoy it. It's really satisfying when you can get it, you know, actually matched. It's like, hey, I took all of these other colors and made something completely different. I'm a little worried this green isn't going to look like a good match when it's dry, though. I'm seeing it right now. It's looking a little bit too blue. I might need to yellow it up a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to yellow it up a little bit more. Bloop. There we go. Let's see how that works. All right, at least when it's wet, that looks much better. But sometimes paint dries a different color. Let's see. And it looks like his other hand has like tiny hints of the green around the fingertips to add a little shadow and depth. So I'm going to try to do that. Oh, that looks so messy. Ah. Now, let's blend that away. Blend, blend, blend. Blend, blend. Technically, I should probably be doing this in daylight. Color matching is much better in daylight. But this is when I felt like doing it, so yeah. And I've got spilled paint over here that I need to clean up. Behind the hand here. Trying to remember. Good enough is good enough. More blending, more blending, more blending. And I think, actually, looking at this hand goes really dark up the arm. So if I just extend this paint a little more to where it kind of blends in with the darker color up here, that should look good. All right, so we have that. Yeah, I'm going to call that good enough. It looks fine on camera, and if it doesn't look good in daylight, I can tweak it a little more. I can always add more paint. So I'm going to say that's good enough. I wish I had a paper towel. I need to sop up some of the water. I'm going to grab a paper towel. All right. I've got watery bits over here that I need to dry because I am going to be gluing things there. There we go. Now, that does it for the repairs. The repairs are done. Now I just need to finish the modifications. So, since I already have green paint out, I will start with green and see how that looks, and if it doesn't look good, I will switch to black for the lettering on the sign. So, green paint. And this is the key part of the project. So, all right. Try to get, oh, this brush is not good for lettering, is it? Oh, that'll work. Maybe. I might need a different brush. All right, trying to get lettering centered. So I'm gonna try to start with center stuff, and then, yeah, that works. Now, yeah, this brush is not going to do it. I need to use a more pointy brush for the lettering. Brushes. Come on, there we go. This brush should do it, right? That brush should do it. All right. And then trying to center this as much as I can. So I'm starting with the center letters. And we are getting to the part where you see why I called this Antifa Crafting Corner. And a little more paint. Do, 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 do. Oh, I don't like where that eye is. If I make it wide enough, it won't look too bad. Ugh, it's still not centered. I started with the center letters and I still screwed up centering the text. It's just how it goes, isn't it? All right, and then there, and there. Oh, that's sloppy. That's okay. He hand lettered this sign, and he did it before I fixed his hand, so, you know, he was doing it with missing fingers. He did the best he could. Oh, that lettering is so sloppy. And my camera is not focusing again. Why are you not focusing? Gotta replace this damn thing. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now, I'm gonna clean up the letters a little bit. Or maybe make them messier. Who knows? Knowing me, it could be either. I'm going to try to clean them up. And that K is so sloppy. Let's see if I can fix it a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, I don't think that's going to get much better. And try to point the brush a bit. And try to fix this U. There we go. That's looking a little better. Yeah, I think that's the best it's going to get. I think if I keep messing with it, I'm probably just going to make it worse. So, well, ta-da! He has a sign. All right, now I just need to get that sign in place. So it's going to be glued here. And in order to do that, I need to cut the end in sort of a wedge shape to fit it into that wedge-shaped hole. So I need to get my X-Acto knife again. And I'm going to try to kind of carve the end of this a little. Now, I want the sign to be this way, so I want all right, I want this to kind of come away like this. Trying to carve it to sort of match the shape of the frog's crease there. And the glue will do a lot of the work for me. Oh, I want to rotate it a little bit. I think I need to cut it in that way on that side a little bit. And cut this side a little more gradually. There we go. That. Nope, that's turned the wrong way. There we go, that's. And if I move it right here, yeah, that should do it. Come on, camera. You're better than this. Yeah, this camera really needs to be replaced. Okay. Now, to make sure this doesn't fall, what am I going to do? I'm not going to lean it against him. I'm only going to be able to glue it in this one spot. If I really wanted to make sure that it stayed, I would carve a little hole. Actually, let me see if I can. Let me see if this knife will scrape away any of this ceramic. Because if I can dig a little bit of a hole out of it, then the sign will hold up much better. I don't think so, though. This knife isn't going to do it. I have, what do I have? I have pointy thing, I have drilly thing. Let's see, if I start with pointy thing and kind of gouge a little with pointy thing. I mean, technically I have a Dremel. I could get the Dremel for this, but, oh, this might work. Yeah, there we go. All right. Because, yeah, if I can cut a little bit of a hole into this, then I will have a much easier time getting the sign to stand up. If it's just inserted in there just a little bit instead of just butted up against a surface. I don't think these tools are meant for drilling hard stuff. I think they are just meant for drilling out holes in soft clay. But, they're working. It's not like I need to dig a hole through the whole thing. Just a little way in, just to make the glue hold a little better. Do I have a better one of these? Probably not. We'll see if this is any better. Nope. How about this one? Not really. I should go get the Dremel, but I don't know exactly where it is, and I don't want to run off camera for an unknown length of time. Everything else I've run off for has been something that I know exactly where it is. Yeah, I think this. Maybe that'll be good enough. We'll see. It's barely a divot, but it might help. All right, so glue. Boop. Nope. A little more. There we go. And sign. And hold it still as long as I can. So yeah, this is the tricky part, because it is just the end of the stick being glued right there. So there we go. The slightest impact will knock that off. And actually, I think I want it tipped a little bit. Yeah, tip it a little bit. So I may well need to fix this later. I may need to actually get my Dremel and drill a little hole there. But for now, I'm going to hope that super glue does it. And, you know, it's not like I'm some kind of clumsy person who is going to knock this on the floor or anything, right? Right? All right, so, oh, this is glued where it shouldn't be. Oh, there's too much glue here. Too much glue on the frog, and it's gonna look shiny. Wait, I have a paper towel. What am I doing? Paper towel. Try to damp up some of that glue. There we go. And there. Best I can do. It's going to be a little shiny there. That's okay. I'm probably going to have to touch up the paint anyway, so I can cover it over. And then I want the bottom of the sign sticking out the bottom of his hand. And that should be pretty easy. I just have to... there's glue on this skewer. Where's the rest of the skewer? I have no idea. I have too much stuff on this table. I don't know where the rest of the skewer is, so I'll just have to snap And in this case, the ragged end is actually good because it'll be easier to jam it up in there. Oh, that's going to be too short, right? Yeah, that's too short. Or too long, that's what I meant. Not too short, the other one. And, oh wait, I have these pliers. I'm dropping this stuff everywhere. Ah. All right, pliers, let's, there we go. And how's the length of that? That goes there. Yeah, there we go. That looks great. Maybe it should be just a tiny bit shorter. I think it should be, no, I think that's a good length. All right, now all I need to do is put some glue on it. Ah, don't glue the table, don't glue the table. Fuck, super glue. Ah. Well, I do want a new table. All right, then get this jammed up there. Try not to get glue anywhere it shouldn't be. And stick it there. It's not perfectly straight, but it'll do. All right, come on, stick. There we go. And again, I should probably do, oh no, I need to, yeah, I need to carve that down actually. The shape isn't gonna work. I need to make this another like angled thing to fit with the curvature of the thing it's being glued to. So I'll do that. That'll give more surface area for glue to stick. There, that should do it. Ah, nope, nope, nope. Get back here. Nope, this way. There we go. And yeah, that should do it. Just hold it up and let go and let the glue do the rest of the work. Yeah, that doesn't quite match up, but it is good enough. This is good enough crafting. All right, so once that glue dries, I mean, this is basically done. Antifa crafting corner. Oh, geez. Great, now I have more super glue on my fingers. Ah! So bad at this. So bad at this. All right. Oh no, and I've glued the paper towel to the table. Ah! I shouldn't be allowed to have super glue. Who said I could have super glue? All right. So yeah, now all that's left to do is clean up this mess. So I'm gonna do that. But first, hello. My family has just returned and my dog is very excited about it. All right. So, hey, kiddo.
Yeah? Oh, beautiful. Perfect.
So, there we go. And I can put this guy right here. Nah, that doesn't really show up on the camera, does it? Wait, I can just bend this down a little bit. There we go. that is, ta-da! Need to, there we go. Perfect. Antifa crafting corner. Okay, so I just need to clean my brushes here. I'm going to be responsible and clean before I end this stream. Brushes look clean enough, probably. Yeah, they're probably fine. And paints go back in the paint thing. And glue, I need to put that away upstairs and put this glue away upstairs. And here's another paintbrush that I missed. Oh, this one needs to be cleaned too. Do. Well, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to finish this in the course of one stream. Usually something goes wrong while I'm doing some sort of craft, and yeah, I am pleasantly surprised that I was able to finish it in one go. Okay, this is garbage, and this goes back in the jewelry thing. And let's see, these go in here. These are garbage. Get rid of all these popsicle sticks. And garbage. Another paintbrush. Wait, this one is clean. All right, paintbrush. And there we go. Paintbrushes go in there. Oh, there's the rest of the skewer. I was looking for that. Garbage. And let's get this back into the drawer and put away the Sculpey. And that, is that all the cleanup? Huh, amazing. It's amazing how easy cleaning up at the end of a project is if you've been kind of cleaning up as you go. Maybe I should take a lesson from that. Hey, I didn't ask for comments from the peanut gallery. My child is heckling me.
You love me.
Yeah. All right. So, what else is there to do? I can put this away, and these pliers go back in the jewelry thing. And yeah, that's just about everything put away. This candle was over here. I don't know if that's where it belongs, but that's where it was. And I don't know where these popsicle sticks should go. Somewhere in my office, I just don't know where. And that goes there. All right. Yeah, this is great. Fully cleaned up. Well, apart from taking everything upstairs, but I can't do that on camera. All right. So here's my little frog. For those who didn't see my my video where I introduced the frog, I found this guy in the Goodwill bins, and he was missing a leg, but I managed to find his leg. So tonight I have reattached his leg. Also, he had a couple of fingers broken off over here. So oh my God, dog. I sculpted a couple of new fingers for him out of Sculpey, painted them. I made this little sign for him, and I glued it all together. And I managed to do that all in one stream, which is kind of shocking to me. I didn't hit any snags where I didn't have the materials to continue, and I managed to get all the way through before I lost interest. So there we go. We have Frog with his little butterfly and his very important sign. All right. So, I'm not seeing any messages or questions in chat, so I think I'm going to sign off for now. I might later do some Minecraft streaming, but I am a little tired, so maybe I won't, but we'll see. Thanks for joining me, people. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the likes and follows and shares that you have provided. Yeah, hope you had a good time. I definitely did. And I will catch you all later. Where's my stop streaming button? There it is. All right. Goodbye, everyone.